Hello, welcome to Math Made Public. Today we're going to be dividing decimals. Okay, so our first number here is 1 and 35 thousandths. Our second one is 25 hundredths. This first number is called the dividend. The second one is called the divisor. The divisor is the action, it's the verb, it's the one that's doing the dividing. Okay. The number one thing to remember about dividing decimals is my divisor cannot have a decimal point. Okay. So I have to get rid of it. But I can't just get rid of it. I have to move it. And how do we move it? Okay. So let's first change it so it's vertical instead of horizontal. Okay. So that's my first job. So I have 1 and 35 thousandths divided by 25 hundredths. Okay. Fun little observation. The division sign, see how it has a dot above and below this bar? Well, that's a fraction. This is the numerator, this is my bar, and this is my denominator. Pretty cool. Anyways, so my concern is I have to get this decimal point to be at the end of this number so that I have a whole number and I can actually do the division. Okay, so how do I do that? Well, we have to remember our number system. Our number system is based on powers of 10. So anytime I multiply a decimal number by a power of 10, that decimal point is going to move to the right. It's going to end up being a number that's greater than what it is. If I divide a decimal number by a power of 10, the decimal point's going to move to the left. Okay, and it's going to make a number that's less than what we started with. Okay, the power of 10 that I choose, and remember, powers of 10 are 10, 100, 1000, so on. The power of 10 that I choose to multiply this by has to move this decimal point twice to the right. I'm not concerned with the numerator. The numerator can have a decimal point, okay? My concern is my focus is this denominator. So I'm going to multiply this fraction by the power of 10, 100. Because 100 has two zeros, it's going to move this decimal point to the right twice. And that's what I want, okay? So I'm going to multiply this fraction by 100 over 100, okay? Whatever I do to the denominator, I have to do to the numerator because essentially what I'm doing is I'm creating equivalent fractions, and I can do that, okay? So I'm going to multiply the numerator by 100, okay? That's going to move this decimal point right 2 times because there's 2 zeros here. So my new number in the numerator is going to be 103 and 5 tenths, okay? My numerator can have a decimal point, so I'm okay with that, okay? My denominator, the decimal point is also going to move 2 times to the right, okay? And that's what I want. So I'm going to end up with a 25. And that's a whole number, so I'm good. Now I can do the division, okay? So I'm going to start. All right, so 103 and 5 tenths, that's the dividend. That's going to go under the symbol. The divisor's on the outside. That's the one doing the dividing. Okay, so 25 goes into 103 4 times. That's 100. And then I have 3 left over. This decimal point is going to move up. Okay, I'm going to bring my 5 down. 25 into 35 goes in 1 time. I have 10 left over, so I have to keep going because I don't have a remainder of 0 yet. So I'm going to put a 0 here and bring it down. And 25 goes into 100 4 times. And that leaves me with 0 as the remainder. So I'm good and I'm done. So the answer to this problem is 4 and 14 hundredths. All right. Dividing decimals, really the power of the punch is in those tens. Okay. So learn it, teach it, pass it on.